Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Greg and I am happy that you stopped by and clicked on my video to give it a look. So in today's episode, guys, we are looking for pre-spawn bass and also we're checking out some other places. So at the beginning of this video, I actually started out at a creek that's a little different, but I think it's what most people experience. So it's a creek that has a lot of things that happen in it. One of the things that happens is it's got fish that stay for the winter. And it's also got fish that leave for the winter into the river, but then they migrate back up towards around the end of March and into April. So I went out there in this episode to see if I could get on any of these migrating pre-spawn bass. I was able to find a couple, but then I had to leave and go to another area. Now the area I chose to go to is this little creek right here. This little creek here is Limestone Creek. It's right here in Owen County, right in the middle of Gosport. It runs off a lake and it's not very long, maybe 2 miles tops. I mean, I give it 3 miles at the max. And then it pours into the White River. Most of the time, this creek is like almost completely empty. It gets fished really hard, but the fish also that come into this creek aren't residential fish. What actually happens is the heavy rains through March and April washes over Lake Hollybrook. They got just a spillway there, it's not a dam. So the spillway gets a flowing heavily. The fish are spawning along the dam area right there. It's a big flat. The floods come in and washes them fish over and they end up in this creek. And then these fish, they start out up there towards the lake and then they work their way down into these holes. Each time there's high rain, right? It just kind of pushes them and pushes them. Got another car. All right, I don't know why it's like so busy today. This is just like an old gravel road to backside of Gosport. Gosport is a town of 400 population, 500 population. So we're really small. We don't see cars up and down gravel roads very often. But anyways, guys, so those fish, they move down through here. They get harvested, they get picked off, but they have a goal, and their goal is to make it to the river. These fish don't know anything about this creek. They're born in the lake, and then they lived in the lake, and then they wash over into this creek, and this creek is just kind of a highway for them. So these kind of areas right here are a lot of fun in the early spring months, but by the time summer comes around, they usually start to die off. This one here actually dries up. So I don't mind sharing this place right here. Anybody can come here and go fishing. We pull off right here on Ramona Road in Gosport. We fish it. I park over at the storage bins inside Gosport and I walk down to the highway bridge and I fish it. So yeah, I'm not the only person that does it. There's quite a few of us that do it. And if you time it out right, you can catch some big fish in here. My biggest bass out of this creek was like 6 pounds. My biggest crappie was 13.5 inches. My biggest bluegill was almost 2 pounds. So there's some monsters in Lake Hollybrook that end up in this creek. And these are the kind of places you guys should keep an eye on. Look for those spillway creeks in the early spring months. This is really the time to be out fishing those creeks versus the creek I started at first, which is a migration creek, right? You really shouldn't mess with your migration creeks until after the spawn. Allow those fish to come in, get comfortable, breed, and then they'll stay for the summer. And then you can go in there, and these would be unpressured fish, and you'll be able to just hammer them good. These kind of creeks right here, these are just fish that are moving down a highway, and you should get in these kind of areas right here and fish them as soon as you can. So the lures I'll be using today, guys, is the Ned Wacky mini tube. I'm gonna use that for the smallmouth. And then at this creek right here, I'm gonna be using some baits from Priority Baits. Priority Baits is a new company. I don't really work for them or anything. It's an Indiana-based company, and I wanted to buy some of his lures. Kevin from K Custom Rods promotes him, and so I thought I'd do my part and give him some support. And so far, I've been very pleased with his baits. You can find him on Etsy. Most of his baits are like $5 a pack. Some of them are $6 a pack. He's got a wide variety, and he's also open to doing custom colors on what he has. All right, guys, stay tuned. It's gonna be fun. Oh, I feel like something was hitting us right away there. Oh, we're snagged. Of course, right? There we go. Look at this beautiful little guy. That's a pretty one right there. Oh, did you see that? He was milking. Man, it could be getting to be that time already. That's a beauty right there. He came right out from underneath that rock. All right, buddy. I'll see you later. See if we can find another one in here. He hit right here in front of me. Right there in front of me. Something hit me out there. I don't know what it was, but something did hit me. Let's try down this line. See if we can't trick one through here. There's got to be some more small. There we go. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. Oh yeah, that's a dandy right there. That's an absolute tank. Might be the best one I've caught on the puddle sticks yet. Look at that, guys. That's an absolute stud right there. All right. Figured there would have been one more in there. And there he is. It's a nice 16, maybe 17-inch smallmouth. Well guys, the day is not going like I was hoping. After catching those two fish, the best I've seen is two little bitty, look like maybe either creek chubs or bluegill right here at this little corner. I ain't even seen a smallmouth since. I've come all the way back here to the back of this creek. So I put a rooster tail on. I'm gonna fish this out as fast as I can. I think I'm gonna grab up the boys and then we're gonna head over to Mill Creek, last episode where we were at. See if maybe we can't finish this up and possibly get on some more of those big pre-spawn smallmouth. I got one of them last week when we were out there. Man, I ain't done nothing but thought about it, guys, ever since. So, I don't like going to the same place over and over and over for videos, but man, I tell you what, sometimes you just got to go with the hot hand, right? I was hoping that we had some fish moved up into this creek, but nothing really moved up in here yet. All right, guys, let's speed fish this out and head to Mill Creek. All right guys, change of plans. Instead of going to Mill Creek, I'm gonna bounce around this little bitty creek here by my house. It's called Limestone Creek. It runs off of Lake Hollybrook and runs all the way down to the river. It's got a couple public access spots that you can get in and do a little fishing. Sometimes you can find some giants in there, sometimes you can find some crappie in there, but there's always seems to be fish. And I love this little creek, and I think it's the kind of creek that most people would see and then they just wouldn't think twice about it. It doesn't look like much. So let's get over here, guys. Let's fish it, and let me show you guys that even little creeks matter too. All right guys, stay tuned. All right guys, this is what we're going to be using right here. It's a small bait from Priority Baits. I'm really bad about names, guys, but this is a killer little lure so far. We're going to see what we can catch with today. I'm hoping I can get some spots and I can get some crappie and maybe even some bluegill. To see if the fish are in the creek right now. I'm not for sure if they are, but we're going to toss it out, give it a try. This is a little known spot. This is one of the deeper areas of the creek. So I'm hoping that we can throw this in here. It's on a 16th ounce little jig head. I'm hoping that we can run it through here and get some of these fish to bite. I'm hoping that the high water has already washed some down into this creek right here. All right, guys, let's get fishing. There we go. Oh, that's a big crappie. That is a nice crappie right there. My best slab of the year right there so far, huh? All right. I will take that all day long. All right, guys. First fish at the creek is a crappie. See you later, bro. It's a nice one too. Wasn't a bad crappie at all. Watched him come right up at it right there at the very end. He come right up after it. Took a shot at it. Well, you just never know. Weather has dropped off, guys. It is getting cold out here. That may be affecting the fish a little bit. That's a good spot. He was down there. Oh, come here, buddy. That's a good spot right there. Not bad at all. All right. The old crappie jig tricked him into coming out. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get him back in there. One crappie and one dandy of a little spotted bass. See you later, buddy. He hit it hard too. Came out right out from underneath there. Man, so many casts it took to get him. Took quite a few casts to get him to come out from underneath there. Not a bad spot at all. There we go. Oh, that's an even better one. Oh, that's an even better one. There we go. Again, guys, a couple casts and you can get them. They're down there. Little priority baits, man, putting a whooping on them. That almost looks like the same fish, actually. He fought a lot harder than the other one. He hit that like a tank. All right, guys, this is our last stop. Whoa, going down. You guys may remember this spot if you watched the channel for a while now. This is where we caught the big old bowfin at. I'm just looking for anything today. You know, a good place to find fish here is right up against these little columns that you see. There we go. First cast, we got a crappie. All right. Another old little creek crappie. Right there, that's a little bitty one. You ready, buddy? See what else we can find in between them columns right there. Another crappie. Watched him come up after it. Not bad. Still a little bitty guy here, but that works. See you later, buddy. About 3 for 3. Can we go 3 for 3? Let's find out. Let's go to the inside of this column here this time. Oh, apparently not. That's okay though. I mean, we caught back to backs there. That's pretty cool if you ask me. There we go. Got us a bass this time. Come up out of nowhere. Feisty old guy. Another spot. Little one. See you later, buddy. He meant business. We should try the inside here. How about this side right here? Maybe there's fishy here, huh? Most of them seem to have been right here between these two poles though. Just a couple crappie in a small spot. Little bitty crappie. Look at the size of this guy. That's got to be one of the smallest crappies I've ever caught. What is he, a black crappie? That's actually a white crappie right there. So he's got the stripes going down. Little baby white. Another one. Oh, that's actually a pretty good one there. Yeah, that's a real good one there. That's a stringer crappie. There we go. It's the nicest crappie of the day. Hey, it's probably about 6 or 7 inches. See you later, buddy. He came up out of nowhere. Wasn't really expecting that one. Another one. We are on the crappie, I tell you what. We should have stopped at this bridge earlier. This is another little bitty dinker. Little bitty guy. Another little bitty white. She's loaded up with crappie though. They're here. Fix our plastic. Cool thing is, this is like the same plastic I've used since I caught those spots at the last spot. That's pretty cool. There you go. Come back down here and found another crappie. Tell you what, these crappie are just everywhere in here. It's a shame they're not any bigger, because there is a ton of them in there. Won't be in there for long though. Somebody will find out and come rip them all out. I'll tell you what, that's what they do. Even these little bitty guys like this, boy, they'll come on, open up. They will take a guy like that right there and load him up on a stringer. Back in there, buddy. They do not care. Bird's gonna get hooked if you don't watch it. Keep coming through there like that. There we go. Another bass. Not a bad spot. We weren't quite done yet, were we? One more spotted bass. See you later, buddy. Well, y'all, that is a wrap. I had a great time today. I hope you guys had a great time with this episode. I just want to show you guys to get out there, explore your creeks local to you. This is like right down the road from my house. This is Highway 67 right here. If you're in Indiana, you probably know Highway 67. And nobody really ever comes down here. We got some people that own the property here on the other side. They usually come down in the middle of summer. and just pretty much yank about everything out of here, and then it turns into nothing again. But the early season, this early spring, midsummer, it's actually a pretty good place to go fishing. I've caught some big bass in here. I've caught big crappie, giant red ear, big bluegill. Of course, all those, you know, get harvested. They don't last very long. They come from the lake up the road here. But this is all just one big long creek leads right to the river. The last spot I was at, the same creek, right there by the other bridge. I love this place. It's a lot of fun. I never expect trophies, but I always expect a good time. All right, guys, check out Priority Baits. Check out Ned Wacky. Don't forget promo code GC_7 NedWacky for 7% off your order. All right, guys, see you on the next one.